What up? What up? Welcome back to the Notary on Automation channel. I got something special for you today. I want to share a very useful tool for anybody who's struggling with converting callers to full clients. This is a great opportunity for anybody who needs practice with role playing on the phone, or you need something to help you overcome those objections. So when you get on the phone with a customer and you're not quite sure what to ask them, it sounds a little bit clunky, sounds a little bit awkward. Don't worry about that. We're going to get you taken care of today. So we focus on the notary business. We stay away from loan signing. We stay away from the mortgage industry. If people call us for documents that need to be signed that are real estate related, of course, the answer is yes. We help them, but we primarily stay away from the real estate industry. We focus more on private notary, focus more on specialized clients, and we've been implementing automation for the past few years, and we're having tremendous success. So I want to share some of these insights that'll help you overcome some of that phone fear, so that way when somebody calls you, you know exactly what to do, know exactly what to say. So let's dig in. So here we are with an overview of the basic format and structure of a phone call. After you've greeted the person professionally, you've given them the impression that this is a high quality service and then that they're trustworthy. Then you can go into your qualifying questions, followed by your disqualifying questions, and then your closing. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you a special bonus that talks about how to overcome objections and the two most common type of objections that you're going to face. So what is a qualifying question? And most of your qualified questions, they have to be yes responses only. These questions must be easy responses. They've got to be simple responses that your customers and your potential clients can answer. They can't be confusing. These can't be questions that are hard. This can't be like an exam. The customer cannot feel like they're being interrogated. And this is very, very important. Very important that you get yes answers. So typical questions like, where do you live? These are easy questions. Do you have ID? These are yes or no questions. And you would expect that any adult who's getting a notarization, anyone over the age of 18, to reasonably speaking, they should have an ID card. Not always the case, but again, these are simple questions that they should be able to ask. And then also you can get into more in-depth questions, and I will be careful when it comes to this, asking the person what type of document do they have. Sometimes they know that the document is from the government, is from an agency, is from their attorney. They know who is pressuring them to get this done. And this may sound surprising, but they oftentimes don't know the name of the document. So that's why I always refrain from asking that question, because they don't really understand the titles and the names of the document. Oftentimes, this is their first time ever dealing with a notary. Sometimes, not always the case, but for a lot of people, this is their first time dealing with a notary and they've never heard of the document title. So yes, responses are very, very important, crucial. Number two, you want to ask disqualifying questions. Disqualifying questions are questions that when you ask a question, they give you a response and you don't necessarily have the capability to do it. So here's an example. If you get a caller and then they ask you if you speak Spanish, and if you don't speak Spanish, then you can't actually help this person. Now, you would think that this is the first question that they would come up, but after you've already used the qualifying questions, then the question of, well, the person who's signing the document, they only speak English. So is it possible if we can get a Spanish speaker to come? And another disqualifying question is, well, we only accept credit cards, or we only have cash. Do you take checks? And another example would be, they need you to draft up a statement letter or a letter that they don't actually really know what it is. These are questions that after you determine that you qualify them and you can help them, and then they disqualify themselves because they're asking you something that you don't have the capability to do. And then at that time, it's time for you to close the customer. It's time for you to get this person as a customer. So the closing is very simple, very straightforward, because you are just painting out the picture that they have to do. You're giving them a finish line. You're giving them, how do you get across this finish line and how do you actually get this appointment scheduled? So they need step-by-step instructions. And what does that look like? This is one of the most important parts. And then After you've gotten off the phone, you can actually hang up. So it's important that you get there, get to the finish line. And then lastly, I want to give you guys a special only top two objection that people say are why does it cost so much? Why do I pay first? And easy way to get across that with using the finish line concept is let's say how much does it cost? Let's say $125. Let's say, okay. All right. Then they say, oh wow, that's so much. Is there any way I can get it cheaper? Once the person gets to your door or wherever they are, so you ask them, confirm the location again, or is this going to be at your home? And then, so just confirm you live in Miami, right? And is this a residential location? Yes. Will you be the person who answers the door? Great. You don't have any shotguns that you have to worry about or any dogs that you have to worry about? No, we don't. You're not going to leave us out in the sun, will you? Scorching in the heat, will you? No. Okay, great. So we see appointments as late as to 8 p.m. So the earliest we have is 3:45, 4 o'clock. So 4:30 or does 4:15 work? If you want to take the credit card over the phone, then you tell them so 11:15, 11:45, or 1:30 works. They say 1:30 works. Okay, we can take the credit card over the phone, and then you'll be good to go. Or if you do it in the automated sense, then I'll send them the link. When you're using it in the automated sense, you schedule an appointment, then we go ahead and book, then you'll get a confirmation after that. All right. So objections are not people telling you no, it's just that they haven't been convinced that you are the person who's to help them yet. Hey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. We need every notary in the country, in the entire USA, to get on board with getting their own customers. We can't rely on signing services and title companies and directories and listings and these databases and these referrals and this word of mouth is not consistent enough for us to make this worth our time. So it's important that we know how to get our own customers. It's important that when people call you, you don't interrogate them, you don't talk yourself out of business. So it's very important that if you need help, go ahead and download this workbook. It's all the resources, all the call scripts. There's video samples. There's all types of bonuses that'll help you get more customers. Then, if at all you have any questions, then don't forget to schedule a one-on-one. We have some options down in the description below. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy your day.